If you are waking up 3, 4, or even 5 times a night to rush to the bathroom, you probably blame your aging prostate, a weak bladder, or just the inevitable toll of getting older. But for millions of seniors, the real culprit isn't their body at all. It is a single, seemingly healthy beverage consumed right before bed that is actively irritating your bladder lining, triggering false alarms in your brain, and systematically robbing you of the deep, restorative sleep you need to stay sharp and active. I am Dr. Carl. I have spent 16 years practicing as a urologist, helping men and women over 60 reclaim their nights and protect their bladder health. Tonight, we are going to break down the 9 worst nighttime beverage offenders that are wrecking your sleep and forcing you out of bed every few hours. We will look at the hidden irritants in your evening routine, the surprising way certain liquids trick your kidneys, and the simple swaps you can make starting tonight. Make sure you stay tuned for number 7 because it is a drink that millions of active seniors consume every single evening, fully believing it helps them relax, while it is actually doing the exact opposite to their bladder. Before we dive into the list, I want to ask you a quick question. How many times did you have to get out of bed last night to use the bathroom? And what city are you watching from? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single comment, and your experiences directly shape the topics I cover in these videos to help you navigate your health after 60. Let's start with the most common offender I see in my office every single week, and that is the classic evening cup of decaf coffee or tea. Many seniors tell me they switched from regular to decaf years ago, thinking they solved the problem. But here's what is really happening in your body. Decaffeinated does not mean caffeine-free. A standard cup of decaf still contains small amounts of caffeine, which acts as a mild diuretic, signaling your kidneys to produce more urine. More importantly, coffee and tea are highly acidic. As we get older, the protective lining of our bladder naturally thins out. When that acidic liquid sits in your bladder late at night, it irritates the sensitive lining, causing the bladder muscle to spasm and send an urgent, false signal to your brain that you need to go right now, even if your bladder is barely full. Research from the American Urological Association has shown that even small amounts of dietary bladder irritants can significantly worsen symptoms of an overactive bladder. If this sounds like you, your action step for this week is to establish a hard cutoff time. Stop all coffee and tea, even decaf, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon and see how much quieter your bladder behaves tonight. Next up is something that many folks pick up at the grocery store, thinking they are doing their health a favor, and that is cranberry juice or citrus-based evening drinks. We have been told for decades that cranberry juice is the holy grail for urinary health. But when you drink a glass of it close to bedtime, the high acid content creates a perfect storm. It irritates the bladder wall just like coffee does, leading to that sudden midnight panic where you feel like you can't get to the bathroom fast enough. Furthermore, many store-bought juices are packed with added sugars or artificial sweeteners. High concentrations of sugar in your urine can actually pull more water into the bladder through osmosis, filling it up much faster than normal. A study published in the Journal of Urology highlighted how dietary modifications, particularly reducing acidic beverage intake, can dramatically decrease the frequency of nighttime urination. This week, try swapping out that evening glass of juice for plain, room-temperature water, but limit your intake to just a few sips if you are within 3 hours of turning off the lights. That brings us to the third major culprit, which is aged nighttime spirits or that evening glass of red wine. It is incredibly common to enjoy a nightcap while watching the evening news or winding down after a day on the golf course. You might feel like it helps you fall asleep faster, and it often does, but alcohol is a powerful central nervous system depressant that relaxes every muscle in your body, including the urethral sphincter, which is the muscle responsible for keeping your bladder closed. At the same time, alcohol suppresses a vital hormone called antidiuretic hormone. Normally, this hormone tells your kidneys to slow down urine production while you sleep so you can rest through the night. Without it, your kidneys go into overdrive, filling your bladder to maximum capacity within just a couple of hours of falling asleep. Many doctors are seeing a direct correlation between evening alcohol consumption and severe sleep fragmentation in seniors. If you enjoy a glass of wine, try moving it to an earlier hour, perhaps with an early dinner around 5 or 6 o'clock, giving your body ample time to process the alcohol before your head hits the pillow. Our fourth offender is something that catches a lot of health-conscious seniors off guard, and that is carbonated water or evening club soda. A lot of folks switch to sparkling water to cut back on soda, which is wonderful for your overall health, but carbonation itself is a well-known bladder trigger. The bubbles create a mild chemical irritation in the urinary tract, which tricks the bladder into thinking it is completely full when it is only partially populated with fluid. When you pair carbonation with the natural thinning of the bladder lining that happens after 60, you get a recipe for multiple midnight trips to the bathroom. Some studies suggest that eliminating carbonated beverages alone can reduce urinary urgency by up to 30% in patients suffering from nighttime frequency. If you love your sparkling water, make a commitment this week to enjoy it exclusively during lunch or early afternoon, and stick to completely flat liquids once the sun goes down. Let's take a quick pause right here. If what we are discussing is connecting the dots for you and helping you understand your body a bit better, please tap that like button. It takes just a second, but it helps this video reach more seniors who are struggling to get a good night's sleep. And let me know in the comments, have you noticed your bladder acting up after drinking any of these so far? Moving on to number 5, we have to talk about artificial sweeteners found in diet drinks or sugar-free evening flavor enhancers. Many seniors trying to manage their weight or watch their blood sugar turn to sugar-free alternatives. However, artificial sweeteners like aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose are highly irritating to the bladder muscle. They act as chemical triggers that cause the detrusor muscle, which is the main squeezing muscle of your bladder, to contract unpredictably. This creates that sudden, overwhelming urge to urinate that wakes you out of a sound sleep. A Mayo Clinic review on bladder health emphasized that chemical sweeteners are among the top dietary irritants for individuals experiencing urinary urgency. If you are using sugar-free drink packets or diet sodas in the evening, try phasing them out completely this week and notice if your bladder feels calmer during the night. Number 6 is a sneaky one because it is often disguised as a health remedy, and that is evening wellness teas containing chamomile or valerian root. While these herbs are fantastic for calming your mind, many people don't realize that certain herbal blends also contain natural diuretics like dandelion root, hibiscus, or nettle. These herbs are designed by nature to help your body flush out excess fluid, which is the last thing you want happening when you are trying to sleep. Even if the tea is perfectly formulation safe, drinking a large 12-ounce mug of hot liquid right before bed simply floods your system with too much volume at the wrong time. Your action step here is simple. If you love your evening tea ritual, reduce the volume to just 4 ounces. Drink it 2 hours before bed and ensure the blend is strictly for relaxation without any hidden diuretic herbs. Now we have arrived at number 7, the one I asked you to watch for, and that is the habit of drinking a large glass of plain water right before bed to take your evening medications. This is perhaps the most common mistake I see in my 16 years of practice. Seniors are told to stay hydrated, so they keep a large thermal cup of water on their nightstand and gulp down 8 to 10 ounces right before turning out the lights, often to wash down their blood pressure or cholesterol pills. But here's the reality. As we age, our cardiac output shifts when we lie down flat. The fluid that accumulated in your legs during a day of walking or playing golf suddenly rushes back into your bloodstream, and your kidneys work overtime to filter it out. When you add a massive glass of water on top of that natural fluid shift, you are guaranteeing a night of broken sleep. Furthermore, certain medications, like blood pressure pills, can act as mild diuretics themselves. This is a crucial conversation to have with your doctor during your next Medicare visit or annual physical. Ask if your evening medications can safely be shifted to the morning, and when you do take your nighttime pills, use only a tiny sip of water, just enough to swallow the tablet comfortably. Number 8 on our list is premium meal replacement shakes or protein drinks consumed late in the evening. Many seniors rely on these convenient drinks to ensure they are getting enough nutrition or protein as their appetite changes with age. However, these shakes are incredibly dense and loaded with concentrated minerals, calcium, and proteins. When your kidneys try to process these heavy nutrients late at night, they require a massive amount of water to filter them properly, which draws even more fluid into your bladder. The high mineral concentration can also irritate the bladder wall, leading to frequent nighttime awakenings. If you rely on these nutritional shakes, move them to breakfast or lunch, ensuring your body has the entire day to process the nutrients while you are active and upright. Finally, number 9 is iced tea or sweet tea consumed during or after an early dinner. In many parts of the country, a cold glass of tea is a staple at the dinner table. But even if you eat dinner early, say around 5 o'clock, the combination of caffeine, heavy sugar, and the sheer volume of fluid can linger in your system for hours. Caffeine has a half-life of up to 6 hours, meaning half of the stimulant is still circulating in your body at 11 o'clock at night, keeping your bladder muscle alert and hyperreactive. This week, try replacing your dinner tea with a simple glass of water with a slice of cucumber for flavor, and see how much easier it is to stay asleep. To show you how much of a difference these small adjustments can make, let me tell you about a patient of mine named Arthur. Arthur is a 72-year-old retired accountant living in Scottsdale, Arizona. He came into my office completely exhausted, complaining that he was waking up 4 times every single night to use the bathroom. He was terrified he had a serious prostate issue and was worried he wouldn't be able to take an upcoming cross-country road trip to see his grandkids. When we reviewed his daily routine, I discovered he was drinking a large glass of diet iced tea with dinner at 6, followed by a mug of decaf chamomile tea at 9 to help him sleep, washing down his evening pills with a full glass of water. His prostate was actually fine for his age. His bladder was simply drowning in late-night fluids and chemical irritants. We made 3 simple changes. We moved his dinner drink to plain water, shifted his evening pill routine using just a sip of fluid, and stopped all liquids after 7 o'clock. Within just 2 weeks, Arthur went from waking up 4 times a night to waking up just once, occasionally sleeping completely through the night. He took his road trip with absolute confidence and felt like a completely new man simply by changing his evening drinking habits. If you want to experience the same relief Arthur did, here is tonight's plan with 5 concrete action steps you can start today. First, stop all caffeine and decaf beverages by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Second, move your evening glass of wine or spirits to an early dinner hour rather than right before bed. Third, eliminate all carbonated and artificially sweetened drinks after 4 o'clock. Fourth, when taking your evening medications, use only the smallest sip of water necessary to swallow the pill. And fifth, set a strict liquid boundary by stopping all major fluid intake 3 hours before your head hits the pillow. Making these adjustments can completely transform the quality of your rest and protect your bladder health for years to come. But what about the foods you are eating? It turns out there are several common dinner foods that secretly act like absolute magnets for bladder irritation, forcing you out of bed even if you get your liquids perfectly right. In my next video, we are going to look at the 3 most common dinner ingredients that are causing silent bladder spasms while you sleep. I am Dr. Carl. Stay well, and I will see you there.